Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive.
Hello.
Today, we're going on a bit of a microscopic adventure. We're unlocking the secrets of life's tiniest units, the cell.
Hmm.
We've dug through, well, a whole stack of research, really, from those very first glimpses into this unseen world right up to the latest stuff,
Yeah.
all to bring you the essential story of how these tiny, tiny powerhouses build, well, everything we see.
And our mission really is to take you on this journey, starting from that surprising moment cells were first even noticed
Right.
to understanding their, intricate inner workings, their incredible diversity.
Which is vast.
Oh, absolutely. And ultimately, how these fundamental units build everything,
Yeah.
from the smallest bacterium you can imagine right up to the largest animals on Earth.
So the goal for you today is basically a shortcut, a way to get truly clued in about this hidden, vibrant world that's inside us and all around us.
Exactly.
Okay, let's start at the beginning then. Cast our minds back,
Yeah.
way back to the 17th century. It's kind of a surprising origin story.
It really is.
Imagine this, 1665. There's this brilliant, curious scientist, Robert Hooke. And he's peering through a pretty simple magnifying device for the time.
Early days.
Very early. And he wasn't looking for life, exactly. He was looking at thin slices of cork.
Oh, great.
And what he saw were these tiny partitioned boxes or compartments. He said they reminded him of a honeycomb.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Hooke actually coined the term cell for these structures.
Wow, so that term goes way back.
Right back to the beginning. But, and this is crucial to remember, those cells he saw, they were actually dead cork cells, empty boxes, really.
Ah, okay. Not living things yet.
Not yet. The discovery of living cells, buzzing with activity, that came later.
Yeah.
As microscope technology took these huge steps forward,
Right.
it really shows you how science works, doesn't it? It
Yeah.
builds. Each discovery kind of opens the door for the next one.
So there's this analogy, right? Just like bricks are the basic units of a building.
Mhm.
Cells are the basic structural units of an organism.
Yeah, that analogy is helpful, definitely. It gives you a starting point. But cells are so much more complex than bricks. They're living structures. Imagine a brick that could, I don't know, fix itself if it got chipped.
Or make copies of itself.
Exactly. Or even decide where to go, respond to things around it. That's much closer to the reality of a cell. It's dynamic, it's active, not just a passive block.
That's a really important difference. Okay, so they're dynamic, they're alive. What does that actually look like out there in the living world? Just how diverse are cells, really?
Oh, the diversity, well, it's staggering. Take
Yeah.
size, for example. You've got the smallest bacteria, maybe only zero 0.1 to zero 0.5 micrometers across.
Which is ridiculously small. Like, what does that even mean in real terms?
It means you could line up like thousands of them across the width of a single human hair,
Wow. Okay, invisible, basically.
like completely invisible to us. And then at the other end of the scale, the largest known single cell, it's actually a hen's egg.
A chicken egg is one cell.
Technically the yolk part, yes. And an ostrich egg. That's massive, like 170 by 130 millimeters. You can obviously see that with your naked eye.
That range is incredible, from a microscopic dust speck to, well, an ostrich egg.
It's huge. And it's exactly why scientists need those powerful microscopes.
Right.
And often special stains, too, to make different parts visible. Without those tools, this whole world just stays hidden.
And what about the numbers? You mentioned bacteria, eggs. What about, say, in us?
Ah, the numbers. Well, think about the human body.
Mm.
Our sources point to trillions of cells.
Trillions, like 1,000 billion.
1,000 billion, yes. Trillions upon trillions. It's almost impossible to really grasp that number. If every cell was a grain of sand, well, you'd need a very, very big beach.
Just working away all together right now.
Exactly. All coordinated. Which brings us to a really key distinction between types of organisms.
Okay.
You have unicellular organisms. Think amoeba, paramecium. These are single cells, but they're the entire organism. They do everything needed for life all by themselves. Self-sufficient.
One cell doing it all.
Yep. Then you have multicellular organisms, like us, like trees, like elephants, made of many, many cells.
Trillions in our case.
Trillions. And here, the cells aren't just existing side by side. They specialize. They group together to form tissues. Tissues form organs. Organs form organ systems. It's complex cooperation.
And it's not just size and number. The shapes are really varied too, aren't they? I mean, our sources mention they can be generally round or spherical or elongated.
Exactly. And those shapes are usually very closely linked to their function. It's all about purpose.
Okay, give us an example.
Well, think about nerve cells. They're incredibly long and branched out.
Right, you see pictures of them.
That unique shape is perfect for transmitting messages quickly over potentially long distances in the body.
Mhm.
It wouldn't work if they were just little round blobs.
Makes sense.
And here's something really cool. White blood cells, WBCs, in our blood, they're single cells, but they can actually change their shape, a bit like an amoeba does.
Yeah.
This lets them squeeze through tiny gaps in blood vessels and move around tissues to, hunt down infections. It's amazing flexibility.
Wow.
And the amoeba itself, it uses these things called pseudopodia, means false feet, these projections it pushes out, both to move around and to grab onto food particles.
Wow.
So again, shape is totally linked to how it lives and what it does.
Okay, so this incredible variety, but underneath it all, there must be some common plan, right? Some basic parts that most cells share.
That's a great question. And
Yeah.
yes, despite all the differences, there is a fundamental architecture. We can usually break it down into three main parts: the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, and the nucleus.
Right, the big three.
Let's start outside in. First, the cell membrane, sometimes called the plasma membrane. Think of it as the cell's outer boundary, but a very smart one.
Like a skin?
Sort of, but more like a border control or a gatekeeper. It separates what's inside the cell from the outside environment, and it carefully controls what gets in and what gets out.
And all cells have this. Plants, animals, bacteria.
Yes, this membrane is a fundamental component of pretty much every cell.
But plants have something extra, don't they? Something tougher.
They do.
Yeah.
Plants and also bacteria have an additional layer outside the cell membrane. This is the cell wall.
Okay, and what does that do?
It's a much thicker, more rigid layer. It provides structural support, helps plants stand tall, and gives extra protection against things like extreme temperatures or too much water getting in or drying out. Since plants don't move around, this wall is really key to their survival.
Right, protection and shape. Okay, so membrane, maybe a wall. What's inside?
Inside the membrane, you've got the cytoplasm. This is like a jelly-like substance that fills the cell,
The filling.
pretty much. And floating around in this jelly are various smaller components, these specialized structures called organelles.
Organelles, like tiny organs.
Exactly. That's a good way to think of it. Each one has a specific job. You've got mitochondria, for example. They're the power plants generating energy. Ribosomes, they build proteins. Vacuoles, they're like storage sacs. Lots of different jobs getting done in the cytoplasm.
And the nucleus. That's often called the control center, isn't it? What's that controlling?
It really is the command center, the nucleus. It's usually spherical, often kind of in the middle of the cell. And importantly, it has its own membrane around it, the nuclear membrane.
So it's enclosed.
Yes, keeping its contents separate from the cytoplasm. And inside is where the really crucial stuff is housed, the genetic material that directs everything the cell does.
And here's where it gets, well, fundamental to inheritance and who we are, right? Inside the nucleus are chromosomes.
That's right.
And on the chromosomes are genes. And genes, they're the basic units of heredity. They're literally passing characteristics like, say, your hair color from parents to their kids.
Precisely. All that instruction is packed into the nucleus.
Amazing.
And this difference in nuclear organization, whether there's a proper membrane-bound nucleus or not, leads to a major classification of cells.
Ah, okay. What's that?
We have prokaryotic cells. Think pro meaning before. These are simpler cells, like bacteria. They don't have that well-organized nucleus with the nuclear membrane. Their genetic material is just kind of floating in the cytoplasm.
Okay, simpler design.
Simpler design. Then you have eukaryotic cells. Think eugard meaning true. These are more complex cells, like those in plants and animals, including us. They do have a well-organized nucleus enclosed by that nuclear membrane.
Got it. Prokaryotic, no true nucleus. Eukaryotic, true nucleus.
Exactly. Oh, and just quickly back to those organelles in the cytoplasm, the vacuoles, those storage sacs.
Yeah.
There's often a difference between plant and animal cells there, too. In plant cells, there's usually one very large central vacuole. It can take up a lot of the cell's volume, storing water, nutrients, waste.
Like a big water tank.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But in animal cells, if they have vacuoles, they're usually much smaller and more scattered around.
Interesting difference.
And one more key thing, mainly for plants, plastids.
Plastic.
These are various kinds of colored bodies you find in the cytoplasm of plant cells only. Animal cells don't have them.
And the most famous one is?
The chloroplasts. These are the green ones. They contain the pigment chlorophyll.
Ah, chlorophyll. Photosynthesis.
Exactly. Chlorophyll captures sunlight energy, allowing the plant to make its own food through photosynthesis.
Mm.
And of course, that chlorophyll is why plants look green to us.
So cell wall, large vacuole, plastids like chloroplasts, those are key things for plant cells.
Definitely key distinctions compared to animal
Yeah,
cells.
it's just incredible. All these tiny, tiny parts, membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, organelles, each doing a specific complex job. But how do we get from that microscopic level to, well, us or a tree? How do these building blocks build the big picture?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. It's all about organization, about levels.
Hierarchy.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
a biological hierarchy. So you start with the cells, right? Similar cells that perform a specific function, they group together to form a tissue.
Okay, like muscle tissue or nerve tissue.
Precisely. Then, different types of tissues work together to form an organ.
Mm.
An organ performs a more complex function. Think of your heart or your stomach or a leaf on a plant,
Made of different tissues.
made of different tissues working in concert. And then different organs cooperate in organ systems, like the digestive system, which includes the stomach, intestines, liver, all working together.
Right.
And finally, all the organ systems functioning together make up the complete organism.
So it scales up from cell to tissue to organ system to the whole thing.
Exactly. That part of your digestive system, for instance, it's an organ made of tissues, which are made of specialized cells, each doing its little bit perfectly.
Yeah.
It's just, well, it's a marvel of coordination.
And just to pull that together for plant versus animal cells then, if you're trying to keep track.
Yeah.
Remember, plant cells have that rigid cell wall on the outside. Animal cells don't. Check, plant cells uniquely have plastids, especially those green chloroplasts for making food. Animal cells lack those. And plant cells usually have that one big central vacuole, while animal cells have smaller scattered ones, if any.
Those are the big three differences to remember, absolutely.
Yeah.
They really reflect their totally different ways of life.
What an amazing journey we've taken, really, from Robert Hooke just happening to look at some cork,
Those partition boxes.
those boxes, to understanding this incredibly complex, dynamic, busy world inside every single living thing. It really is a hidden universe, isn't it? Constantly working away.
It truly is. And, this raises a really important question, I think. When you consider all that detail, all that specialization, that incredible coordination packed into something usually microscopic,
Yeah.
from the protective layers to the control centers, the power generators, the communication networks, how does this unbelievably intricate cellular world, which is mostly invisible to us, how does it all coordinate so seamlessly to create the huge, diverse, complex life we see all around us every single day? It's still, in many ways, a profound mystery.
Right.
And it just makes you realize how much more there probably is still to discover about its endless wonders.